I've lost friendships because people just didn't follow through with plans, and it just makes you feel unwanted, and then there's other people who are pursuing you. I have to put that effort into the people who are pursuing me and want to be involved in my life. And so I feel like that's just the natural progression of like living your life, is pursuing the people who are pursuing you. And so if you want to be involved in someone's life, reach out to them. That's the biggest thing. We've all moved away from people that we love and care about, and the biggest thing with keeping those relationships is just reaching out. Sometimes like, I don't want to have to, I'm thinking about a phone call. I want to talk to my friend, but I'm worried about picking up the phone call because I don't know if I have 30 minutes to spare. You're going to get off that phone call. You're going to be so happy about it. Like, that's happened to me a couple times. And so just do it. Don't even think. Just call.
Yeah. Make yourself available.
Make yourself available.
Yeah, I think the flakiness, that's a whole different topic.
I think we were talking about that.
Okay, I was like,
because we were talking about when you guys were gone.
Yeah, that is something that I'm like, I think our generation is probably, we can own it.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably like that.
It's FOMO.
We could work on that. Like,
fear of missing out on the better option.
Yeah. Or just like, honestly, just, I don't know.
FOMO Bo.
Yeah,
FOMO
Bo.
Sorry. She said fear of missing out on the better option.
Oh.
It's something to think about. It's
people
true,
don't want
though.
to commit because it's like, oh, we could hang out, but then what if I get invited to something better?
Yeah. Or it's like, or I'm just really comfortable and I don't want to make myself uncomfortable in this moment. And I think that, I don't know, that is probably only valid, I'm going to be honest, like 5% of the time. I think 95% of the time, like, you're going to be better for following through and having integrity for, I mean, in general, just like, then you're even teaching your own self. Like, when I say things, sometimes I don't actually mean it. And I don't think that's a really slippery slope to go down. Like, when you say things, it should have weight and it should have meaning, especially when you share it with someone and they're making accommodations in their own life. And I think that I feel passionate about this because I was a flaky person.
Same. And Caleb called me out.
And I was like, that's not exactly respectful of like the people that I'm making plans with. And that's also not, I viewed myself as someone with integrity. So then I was like, that's actually not a line. That's not, that doesn't work that way. I don't get to believe that about myself, and this is the behavior I have. And so I think an area where I'm like, I still need to grow in that is with my being on time, because I am not on time. I'm not punctual. But I'm like, I will be there if I say, or I want to make these plans. And so I was talking about it with these photographers that we took our photos last week. They were like, thank you so much for coming. And I was like, well, we said we were going to be here. And they're like, oh, most of the time, like, we show up and people just, like, they end up shooting us a text a little bit afterwards saying that they couldn't come. They're like, they're like, you don't know how many times we've, like, scoped out locations and, like, been on site and no one comes. And I'm like, that is not okay. Like, and it might be uncomfortable for you, because even, which is her saying that was so crazy, because before that I was like, I even said to Matt, I was like, ugh, like, I'm just not in the mood right now. Like, I'm not, like, I don't know, I just won't. I don't know what was going on, where I was just like, I don't really want to drive over. Like, I was thinking about all the reasons why I didn't want to get going and get out the door. And then I was like, no, I mean, we committed to this. It's not an option to, like, unless something major were to come out, this is not an option, just my own comfort. And so it was so crazy that she said that, because I was like, oh my gosh, I not that I was seriously thinking it, but I was like thinking about how nice it would be just to, like, have an empty evening. And then, like, her saying that really validated that.
It's so cool, those little moments when, like, you're thinking about things that you would just brush over, and then you're like,
know.
Wait, this actually just enacted me to do something better.
We got in the car and I was like,
person.
Matt, isn't that so wild that she went out of her way to even say that, and, like, say how that doesn't always happen and how she appreciated that.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I started looking at things that I've committed to as, like, as a work commitment. And I know that sounds weird. I'm not saying that I view hanging out with people as work, but it's like, if I wouldn't miss my job for this, I'm not going to miss this hangout for that. So, like, unless it's sickness or, like, an extreme event, like, I gave that person my commitment. And so unless it's, like, a very serious thing that I would take, like, vacation time for, then I'm not going to miss that hangout. Because, there's always going to be a reason to, like, not hang out.
And you never regret it.
Easier.
Even if you're tired, even if you're, like, I mean, you guys know, we'll, like, let anyone in our house if it's disaster. I'm like, it's not, because it's never about the house.
No.
It's always about the people in it. So I'm like, I don't care, like, what it looks like. They don't care what it looks like. They just care that you showed up and that you're there. And so, yeah.
I think I'll speak a note for the people who are married to a spouse who doesn't like to do things with people.
An introvert.
It's hard being an extrovert married to an introvert and enjoying going out and spending time with new people. he loves hanging out with his people.
Yeah.
My goodness, him and his friends, like his guy friends, I could never get them apart when we lived next to them. But meeting new people and establishing those relationships is sometimes hard with an introvert and an extrovert. And so I feel like I have to be very careful about making commitments for him when we're doing things, because I'm like, I want to make new friends, I want to do this, but let me ask my husband and make sure that he's okay with it first, because again, I don't want to make a commitment and then also drag Blake along and then him already not be in a good mood when we're going to something because he'd rather be at home. And that's fine. He wants to be at home. I want to be not at home.
Well,
but I've been more of an introvert now.
Yeah, that's wise.
I've had to learn
Well, that
it.
also opens up the conversation of like waiting until you're ready to commit to plans. Or just like, that sounds so fun. Let's do it.
Yes.
Like just saying like, okay, I'll get back with you. I'm going to check on a couple things and make sure we're free. I'll make sure I have the capacity at the time.
Yes.
And everyone has different capacities.
Yes.
But you're in charge of like giving that yes or no, you know? And so it's just like, if you're going to give the yes, let it be a
follow
yes.
through with the yes.
That doesn't mean to say that if anyone has changed plans on me that I'm holding it grudges.
Abby's holding grudges. You don't hold grudges.
I do hold some grudges.
But you told me about them, and I've never thought they were unreasonable. And
That's
they're not
true.
hateful
That's
grudges.
true.
You don't think
No.
differently of the person. You're just like, I'm not going to forget that.
I'm not thinking of anyone specific, but I will say, like, I always say this to Matt. I'm like, if people show you, because Matt's a golden retriever,
Yes.
he will literally keep going to someone that is like not wanting to reciprocate, like a million times over. I'm like, if people are showing you who they are, believe them. And so it's like, if they're saying that they're not like into, if they're kind of showing you through their behavior that they're not gonna, I don't know, respect the friendship in the same way you want to, or like, you know, or aren't over eager, like they're showing you that. It's like, well, we'll believe them and then we'll just move on. And I think that's okay. I think that would be a healthy boundary in my mind. I don't know.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to go. And then here's the other thing. My other rule for myself. If someone has canceled plans a few times, probably even 2 times, I view it as like a little baseball. I'm like, it's in their court. Like, they can toss it back, but I'm, out of respect for myself, I'm not going to go back over there, get the ball, and then toss it again.
Yes, I've done that a couple times as well. Of like, the ball's in their court whenever they're ready. Like, if they do want to pursue this friendship, like, they are more than welcome to do that.
I don't consider that a grudge in my world. I'm like, it's
no.
just kind of
and
like,
you're not offended by it. It's just
no,
like,
I'm like, hey,
they're
show me
busy.
who
When they're not busy, they'll ask me to
I
hang out.
believe. I believe
I've
you.
tried to put the effort in.
Yeah.
And
That's all
it's
you
like,
can do.
it's totally, and like if they were to invite me, oh yeah, I'm in. Like
Yeah.
it's not like
Yeah.
I'm like mad. It's like,
No.
that opportunity is closed. Like it's like,
Yeah, I think that's just being mature and just like realizing people have, like you said, everyone's at a different phase.
Yeah.
They're all in different stages. Like someone's capacity, they could be at max.
yeah, oh for sure. And
But
I've
like
been
in
at
a couple
max
months,
capacity
they
before.
might be fine.
I think that's like a reason why we get along so well. I think there are obviously ways that we all can grow, but we're all very mature, I feel like, and we're very like introspective, and like we can like evaluate ourselves in those areas, and that's why we can all get along and not argue and fight and, you know, have jealousy or things like that, because we're all kind of like on the same level. There's obviously areas that we all can grow in, but I think that makes it easier.
And I
between
also
us three.
like that, like, I don't think either one of you would accept less than, like, my best effort at that given time. Like, I feel comfortable that both of you would be like, hey,
Are you
I don't,
okay?
like, lovingly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, in, like, those areas. And, I mean, if I haven't said it, I invite that, too, because, like, I really, really appreciate that and, like, lean on that. And,
Same.